بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back to another lesson of دروس اللغة العربية. Alhamdulillah, we are on lesson 22, and lesson 22, inshallah, before we move on to lesson 22, we will mention rules about غير منصرف, which is also known as ممنوع من الصرف. So before we go into lesson 22, inshallah, it's important we understand what is غير منصرف, or it's also known as الممنوع من الصرف. Al-mamnu' literally means something which has been prevented. Min means from, and as-sarf means change. Now, at the bottom here, we'll cover the definition of al-mamnu' min as-sarf, or it's also known as غير منصرف. So قاعدة means rule. تعريف الممنوع من الصرف. So بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الاسم الذي لا ينون. It is a noun which is not nunated. In other words, it's a noun which does not have a tanween. So for instance, the word Ibrahimu, we will not say Ibrahimun in whichever state we find the word Ibrahim in. So that is a brief explanation of غير منصرف or الممنوع من الصرف. It is a noun which does not have tanween at the end. إعرابه in terms of its grammatical function, in terms of its diacritical markings. يعرب بحسب موقعه من الجملة. It is declinable according to its position of the sentence. فيرفع, therefore it's given in the rough state, is expressed بضمة, with a dhamma, دون تنوين, without a tanween. So for instance, if we use the same word Ibrahim in the state of rough, so we want to say Ibrahimu Khalilullahi. Ibrahim was the friend, close friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we want to say Ibrahimun. So the rough will be expressed, it will be marfu, fayurfa'u, it will be marfu بضمة, with a dhamma, دون تنوين, without a tanween. وينصب ويجر, and it will be mansub and majrur بفتحة, with a fatha, دون تنوين, without a tanween. So same word, for example, Ibrahim, we want to use that in the state of nasb. So we want to say Inna Ibrahim Khalilullah. Indeed, Ibrahim was the close friend or dear friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll say Inna Ibrahim without tanween. Also in the state of jar. So for instance, somebody wants to say Marartu bi Ibrahim. I passed by Ibrahim. So Marartu would be fail and fa'il bi Ibrahim. Even though there is a harf jar, we will not say bi Ibrahimin. It will be bi Ibrahim. So that's the rule in terms of its i'rab. Okay, so it's given an example here. كقولك, like for example your statement سافر أحمد. Ahmed traveled. Ahmed traversed. أضأت مصابيح كثيرة. I lit many lamps. ذهبت إلى جلساء صالحين. I went, okay, to ذهبت إلى جلساء صالحين. I went to participants of a gathering who were what? Pious. جلساء. ذهبت إلى جلساء صالحين. So julasa is a plural of jalis, which means participant in a gathering. So I went to participants in a gathering who were what? Pious. So here julasa is غير منصرف, is ممنوع من الصرف. So in the state of jar, we can see that it's having a fatha. ذهبت إلى جلساء صالحين. صالحين being the na'at of جلساء. Now يعود الممنوع من الصرف إلى الجر بالكسرة في إحدى حالتين. The word which is غير منصرف, which is prevented from total change, reverts to the jar state with a kasra in one of the following two situations. Now, this rule what we are covering is the norm is that غير munsarif in the state of jar will be fathatun bila tanween, like we just said ila julasa'a. However, there's an exemption in two places. When's the first one? إذا عرف بال التعريف, when it is made definite with the definite particle al. For example, مشيت في الصحراء, I walked in the desert. So we can see the word Sahra has got al on there. Now it will no longer be considered غير munsarif, and it can have a kasra in the state of jar. Because why? It has al. It has been made definite with the definite particle al. مشيت في الصحراء. So in this instance, we won't say مشيت في الصحراء. Why? Because of this exemption that if al enters upon a غير munsarif word, it will no longer be غير munsarif, it will be considered to be munsarif. Therefore, it can bear a kasra in the state of jar. When's another instance? إذا أضيف, when this غير munsarif word has been made مضاف. For example, كقولك, your statement, جلست, I sat, في مجالس العلماء, in the gatherings of the scholars. Now the word majalis is on the pattern of mafa'il, and we'll come to know that words that come on the pattern of jam' muntaha al-jumu' or sighatu muntaha al-jumu', a pattern or a form which is the pinnacle of the plurals. So when you're breaking the plurals down, you get to a stage where you cannot break it more into another plural, so it's reached a pinnacle. For example, you got baytun, which is house. The plural of baytun is buyutun, so you've done taksir, you've broken that plural. Then buyutun has a plural which is abayitu, many houses. So now you can't break further on. Abayitu is the final. So it's reached the pinnacle of plurals. Al-jumu' means plurals, muntaha means pinnacle, and sighatu or sigh, which means cases or forms. So whatever the case, majalis normally would have been considered غير munsarif because it's on that scale, mafa'ilu. However, because it is mudaf, it can now accept a kasra in the state of jar. So no longer it will be considered غير munsarif, it will be like a normal munsarif word. So we will say في مجالس العلماء rather than saying في مجالس. So the rule drops off basically of غير munsarif. So these are the rules in regards to غير munsarif. So we've learned, just to summarize, what is غير munsarif? غير munsarif is a word which does not accept tanween. Okay? And some books say it don't accept tanween and al. Okay, so that can be considered as well. However, when al does come, it can accept al, but it will no longer be غير munsarif. Then we learnt in terms of his diacritical markings, in the state of raf, it'll be dhammatun bila tanween. So we give example, safara ahmadu, and in the state of nasb, it'll be fatha bila tanween or duna tanween. Dun means besides or without. So the example we gave was أضأت مصابيح كثيرة. So we can see the word مصابيح is fatha bila tanween. So we're not saying مصابيحا. Like in the Quran in Surah Al-Mulk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ. And surely we have adorned the sky with lamps. بِمَصَابِيحَ. So we can see there, masabih. Okay, well that's the example for state of jar. Okay, so here in the state of jar, ذهبت إلى جلساء صالحين. So julasa in the state of jar, غير munsarif word will have fatha bila tanween. And the ones we said there's two exemptions, and that is when the غير munsarif word has al, the rule will drop off, so it can have a kasra, or it's mudaf. So the example was جلست في مجالس العلماء. So we've learned what is غير munsarif. Now what's happening at the top here? We got al-mamnu'u min as-sarf. That word which is not fully declinable. Okay, and we've mentioned the reason why, because it cannot bear a kasra and a tanween. Now, there could be two causes that's preventing from the word being fully declinable. So we have li'illatain on the left hand side, or there could be one reason. So illatain for two is al-mamnu' min as-sarf li'illatain for two reasons, and then this is broken down into two reasons that can possibly be found on this side. They are paired together, and on the left hand side, two reasons that are generally paired together. And then we have li'illatin wahidatin, one cause. So you don't need to look for two causes. So a word being al-mamnu' min as-sarf, not fully declinable, okay, boils down to that there's two causes found, or one which is equivalent to two. Now in the grammar books you will cover that asbab tis'ah, 9 causes. There are 9 causes, and from those 9 either 2 are found or one which is equal to 2. Now I'm not going to run down those 9 causes all together. Whilst we are covering illatain and illah wahida, will automatically cover the causes anyway. So let's run down, start from the right hand side. What is that one illah, one cause that prevents a word from being fully declinable? So we have here on the right hand side al-makhtumu bi alif ta'nith mamdudatin ba'da thalathati ahruf. Now a word which ends with the feminine, elongated feminine alif. So in other words, what we call alif mamduda. So after the alif there's a hamza. Ba'da thalathati ahruf. Now this alif mamduda has to come after 3 letters. So for example, ulama'u, shu'ara'u. Okay? Ulama'u, shu'ara'u. Now ulama'u, which means obviously scholars, okay? And shu'ara'u is a plural of sha'ir, which means poets. And we have aliya'u, aliya'u, which means loftiness. Okay, so we can see these 3 words. It has, what does it have at the end? Alif mamduda. So alif and a hamza at the end, alif and a hamza at the end, alif and a hamza at the end. But notice it's come after 3 letters. So ain, lam, mim, sheen, ain, ra, ain, lam, and ya. So if we have a noun, it ends with alif mamduda. Al-makhtum means it concludes. It ends with alif, the elongated feminine alif. And you have 3 letters before it, then this word will be considered to be غير منصرف. وإذا كانت الكلمة ثلاثية أو رباعية فهي مصروفة مثل ماء وداء وهواء وسماء. When the word is triliteral or quadruple, then it is munsarif. It's fully declinable. For example, ma'un, da'un, hawa'un, sama'un. Okay? So we can see that these words, water, okay, da'un, hawa'un, sama'un, these words, before the alif mamduda, there's not 3 letters. So in ma'un, we've only got 1, which is mim. Da'un, we've just got a dal. In hawa'un, yes, we got 2. Sama'un, we've only got 2 as well, which is mim, seen, and mim. The waw is just harf atf. It's not part of the actual word. It's just conjoining. So these words will be considered to be munsarif because they are ending with the elongated feminine alif. However, it's coming after less than 3 letters. So that is where we will see words that they will be غير منصرف, and the cause is it ends with the elongated feminine alif. Next, we have something similar. المختوم بألف تأنيث مقصورة زائدة. The noun which ends with the shortened feminine alif, which is extra. So this alif is not part of the root letters. So for example, you've got the word ذكرى. Okay. قتل ليلى. So these words will be considered to be غير منصرف. So ذكرى قتل ليلى. Why? Because they end with alif مقصورة, shortened alif. But it's زائدة. So if you look at the word ذكرى, the alif that comes, okay, which comes, the alif maqsura which comes on the ra, okay, so the alif is additional. So the letters before that are the root letters, dal, kaf, ra, then we have the alif. So the alif is additional. Qatla, same thing, we have qaf, ta, lam, then we have the alif. Layla, we have lam, ya, lam, then we have the alif. So if we have a word that ends with alif maqsura, then that word will be considered to be غير منصرف. بخلاف فتى راحا فإنها أصلية ليست زائدة. Contrary to the word فتى, okay, and راحا, they are, the alif is original, is part of the original and root letters, even though it's changed, okay. ليست زائدة, it is not surplus. So فتى, there's only 3 letters, so فتا ya. So the alif, which has changed from the ya, okay, and rahan, same thing as well, is part of the root letters. So therefore, fatan and rahan will not be considered to be غير منصرف. Now, we don't need to look for another cause. Next one, which other word is it that we don't need to look for another cause? صيغ منتهى الجموع. Cases of the pinnacle of plurals. So like I mentioned to you before as well, what do you mean by cases that reach the pinnacle of plurals? So let's just get a bit of annotation here, inshallah. So sometimes what we can do is we can break a word from a singular form to plural, but then there's a limit. So we got the word baytun. The plural of baytun is buyutun, and the plural of buyutun is abayitu. Okay, but we can't carry on after that. Okay, so it's reached the pinnacle of plurals. So easy way to see words that fall under this pattern is after the alif of the plural word. So we got abayitu, or you want to look at the word masajidu or qanadilu or rasailu. So masjidun, the plural is masajidu. Now we've done taksir. We've broken from the singular form to the plural. We cannot go any further than masajid. We've reached the pinnacle. Qindil, qanadil, which means lamp. Okay, we can't further break this now. Or risalatun, which means message. The plural is risalatun or rasailu, messages. So rasail. If we look at the alif of the plural word, so in masajidu, the word after the letter after the sin, and in qanadil, the alif after the noon, and in rasail, the alif after the sin. This is a nice way to identify if the word is on the pattern of the pinnacle of plurals or the form. That after the alif of the plural, there are 2 or more letters. So we got masajidu, we got 2 letters, jim and dal. Qanadil, we've got dal, ya, lam. Rasailu, we've got hamza and lam. So if after the alif of the plural word, there are more than 2 letters, then most probably that word is going to fall under the pattern of صيغة منتهى الجموع. And if that's the case, then this word will be considered to be غير منصرف, i.e. it won't be fully declinable. So masajidu in the state of raf, masajida in the state of nasb, and masajida again in the state of jar, because according to the i'rab, غير منصرف words in the state of jar will be fatha bila tanween also. So these three that we've covered here, they only require one reason for it to be al-mamnu' min as-sarf. Now we're coming to the left side. Two reasons. علتين. Okay. So now this is divided into two types. Okay. We have words which are proper nouns, so alam, and it comes with another cause. Or we have describing words, so words that offer some kind of description, adjective. We're not talking about nat as the strict grammatical sense of man'ut and nat here. We're just talking about it gives some kind of description. Okay, so here either we're dealing with proper nouns or we're dealing with nouns that offer a description. Now these can be either paired with another cause. So like I said to you as well, I'm not going to go through the 9 causes. We'll eventually, hopefully, should cover more or less most of the 9 causes. So we've already covered 3, you could say, just here, and the rest will follow from here. Okay. So there could be 2 causes that prevents the word from being fully declinable. So let's start from the right hand side here. Al-alamiyatu wa ukhra. Al-alamiyatu means that the word is a proper noun. Proper noun means name of person, place, etc. So when we say Makkah, it's a name of a place. When we say Yaqub, it's a name of a person. So alam is proper nouns. You could say the opposite of alam is common nouns. Common nouns is name of objects. So for example, if I say window, this is not a proper noun. This is a common noun. If I say pen, that is considered to be a common noun. If I say chair, that is also considered to be a common noun. But names of people or places are known to be proper nouns. So when we say al-alamiyah, it means that a word consists of being a proper noun. Ukhra means other causes. So what causes can come with a proper noun that makes it al-mamnu' min as-sarf? So we have al-alamiyatu wal-ujmatu. So al-alamiyatu, we know that it means proper noun. Wal-ujmatu means that it's a non-Arabic word. It's a foreign word. So it's not an Arabic word. So if we have a word that is a proper noun and it's not an Arabic word, so it could consist of Hebrew, English, Persian, etc. Then if these 2 causes are found, that will deem the word to be al-mamnu' min as-sarf. There is a condition which we'll come across anyway. So for example, Ibrahim. Now Ibrahim is not an Arabic word or Arabic name. Yes, it was a name given to a prophet, but strictly speaking, it's not an Arabic word. Same thing goes with the word Ishaq and Ismail. These words are not Arabic words. Okay, so alam is found and ujma, 2 causes. So Ibrahim, it's a proper noun, and it's ujma, it's not an Arabic word. Same thing goes with Ishaq and Ismail. However, there's a condition for it to remain as غير منصرف or الممنوع من الصرف, and that is إذا كان ثلاثيا ساكن الوسط فيصرف. However, when it's triliteral and the middle letter is sakin, it's vowelless, then it will be munsarif. It will be fully declinable. For example, the word Nuhun, Lutun, and Hudun. So even though these words are not Arabic words, Nuh, Lut, and Hud. So even though alam is found, it's a proper noun, it's a name given to a prophet, and there's another cause which is that it's ujma, it's not an Arabic word. So it should have been غير منصرف. However, because it's triliteral, it's got 3 letters, and the middle one is sakin. So Nuh, when you say the word Nuh, the waw has a sukoon. When you say Lut, the waw has a sukoon. When you say Hud, the waw has a sukoon as well. So despite the fact it's alam and it's ujma, because it's triliteral and the middle one is consists of a sukoon, it will be fully declinable. So we'll say Nuhun, Lutun, and Hudun. However, if it's not, if it's mutaharrik, so for example, you got the word saqar in the Quran, saqar, seen qaf and ra, that will be considered to be غير منصرف. Okay. So this is what alam and ujma means. I hope we understand what alam is. Alam is a proper noun. Ujma is that it's not an Arabic word. Sometimes alam is paired with a ta'nith. Now we know what alamiyatu means. Now what is a ta'nith? A ta'nith means that the word is feminine. Okay, whether it's got alamatu ta'nith, whether it's mu'annath lafdiyun, literally it's a feminine word, it has the sign of being feminine like ta'un marbuta, or it's mu'annath in terms of its meaning, it don't have the sign of being feminine, so it might not have a ta'un marbuta like the word Maryam, it will still be considered to be feminine. So sometimes words which are proper nouns and they denote being feminine, they will also be غير منصرف. For example, the word Maryam. Now Maryam, it's a proper noun, so it's a name of Maryam, female name. Same thing with Fatima and Hamza. Even though it's masculine in terms of the entity it refers to, however, in terms of its wording, it has ta'un marbuta, so it'll be considered to be feminine. So Maryam is alam and ta'nith, even though we don't see ta'un marbuta. Fatima, it's alam and ta'nith, and Hamza, it's alam and ta'nith because it has ta'un marbuta. Now these words, remember, what is the i'rab of these words? So if we were to say Maryam came, for instance, we'll say جاءت مريم or جاءت فاطمة without tanween, لا ينون, or جاءت حمزة. State of nasr will be رأيت مريم, رأيت فاطمة, رأيت حمزة, and the state of jar will also be ويجر بفتحة دون تنوين. So مررت بمريم ومررت بفاطمة ومررت بحمزة. However, there is a little exception here like the previous one. إذا كان ثلاثيا ساكن الوسط فيصرف. When it is triliteral and the middle one letter is sakin, vowelless, then it will be fully declinable. For example, the word Hindun and Reem. So even though Hindun, name of female, and Reem, it's alam and it's ta'nith, like the word Maryam, even though it don't have ta'un marbuta, it's still considered to be alam and ta'nith. However, because it's triliteral and the middle letter is vowelless, it's got a sukoon, then it will be fully declinable. So Hindun. So Hindun, so for example, if I say Hind came, say Ja'at Hindun, or Ra'aytu Hindan, Marartu bihindin. And the same thing with the next word as well. Next we have is al-alamiyatu wa ziyadatul alif wa noon. So a proper noun, and also the second cause this word can, an alam can pair with, is that it has an addition of an alif and noon. So in other words, it's not part of the root letters. So for example, we had the word Salman, Uthman, and Ghatfan. So Banu Ghatfan is the name of a tribe as well. So Salman. So if you look at the word Salman, it's alam, it's a name of a person. Uthman is also a name of a person, and Ghatfan is also a name of a person. It has an additional alif, so alif and noon. So when you say additional, that means it's not part of the root letters. That's why we're saying يجب أن تكون زائدة على الاسم لا أصلية. It's necessary, it's essential that it's additional, an addition to the noun, not original. So it's not part of the root letters. So when you look at Salman, Sin Lam Mim. Uthman, it's not like part of the main letters of the word. Ain Tha Mim. Ghatfan, Ghain, Ta, and Fa. However, when we look at the word Hassan, for instance, that would be Munsarif. Why? Because when you look at Hassan, the root letters are Ha, Sin, and Nun. So the Alif Nun there is not Za'idatan. It's not additional. The Alif is, but the Nun isn't, because it's part of the root letters Ha, Sin, and Nun. Okay? So this is another cause that can come with Alam, that's addition of an Alif and a Nun. Okay? And that's going to come later on as well. Sometimes Alif and Nun pairs with Wasf, a description or some kind of form of description. Okay, next we have is al-alamiyatu wa tarkib al-masjiyu. That we have a proper noun and it's tarkib al-masji. Tarkib al-masji means where you got two words and you make into one. So for example, we got Hadramaut, which is a place in Yemen, and Ba'labak, a place in Lebanon. So Ba'al was a name of an idol, okay, and Bak was Ba'labak. Baal was the name of an idol, and Bak was the name of a king, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so these two words paired together and became one, Ba'labak, and it became a name of a place. So here, Hadar Maut, we got Hadar and Maut, which means death, and Hadar means present. So it's two words merged into one. So when you have two words merged into one and it becomes a proper noun for something else, this can also be a cause for it to be غير منصرف. So this will be considered to be العلمية والتركيب المزجي. Okay. In the grammar books, sometimes they term this as مركب منع الصرف. Okay. Next we have is العلمية ووزن الفعل. العلمية ووزن الفعل. That a word is a proper noun and it's on the scale of a verb. It's on the scale of a verb. Okay. So we have here Ahmed, Akram. So these are names people do keep. Okay. People do keep these names. And we can see Ahmed is on the pattern of af'alu. It's on the pattern of af'alu. Now, one cause is that it's a name of a person, so it's alam. The second cause is that it's on the scale of a verb. So af'alu. So when we run down our paradigm, yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna, we end up coming to af'alu. Af'alu. Okay. And akram, same thing, it will come on the pattern and scale of af'alu. Okay, so it comes on it says here waznul fi'l al-madi. Okay, so probably here that's giving the example of akrama af'ala like bab if'al, or it's on the waznul fi'l al-mudari. So that one actually according to this is saying it's on the pattern of past tense verb. So Ahmad akram. So bab if'al, af'ala yuf'ilu if'alan, akrama yukrimu ikraman. And the scale of fi'l mudari, so for example Yahya and Yanba. So these are on the scale of a verb, yaf'alu. Okay, or it has sometimes it's identified by having alamat mudari. Okay, so in the case like Ahmad, it's got Hamza at the beginning. In the future tense verb, you have in the mutakallim sigha af'alu a Hamza at the beginning as well. So we can see Ahmad, it's al-mamnu' min as-sarf, not fully declinable because it's a proper noun and it's on the scale of a verb. Same thing with Akram, Yahya, and Yanba. Next we have is that sometimes a word is alam. Sorry, sometimes a word is al-mamnu' min as-sarf, not fully declinable because it's a proper noun and it also consists of a cause which is known as al-adl. So al-adl means a word which has adopted a new form. So it had a previous form and now it's adopted a new form. So for example, Umar, this will be that Umar, it's assumed that it was Amir and he adopted a new form and became Umar. This in the grammar books you would probably have covered. It's known as ad taqdiriyun, assumed change. Sometimes it's ad haqiqi. It's an actual change. For example, you got the word thalathatun, which means three, or in threes. It became thulath. Arba'a became ruba'. Okay? So these words, thulath or mathlath, or ruba' or marba', mathna, etc., these words actually had a previous form and they adopted a new form. So al-adl means that when a word had a previous form and now it's changed and it's adopted a new form, whether it's actual or assumed, this will be a cause for a word to possibly be غير munsarif if it's paired with another cause. So alam can come with al-adl. So Umar is assumed that he was on the pattern of Amir and then he became Umar. So why is Umar غير munsarif? Because one cause is that it's alam and the other one being that it is adl. It's changed and he adopted a new form. This previous form was Amir. Next on the left hand side, so we've covered why a word will be al-mamnu'u min as-sarf for two reasons, two causes that are found, and those two causes that are to be found, either it's going to be alam paired with one of these. Okay, so alam with ujma, proper noun with a non-Arabic word, foreign word, or it's a proper noun with and it's a feminine word, or it's a proper noun and he has additional alif and noon, or it's a proper noun and he also consists of being two words merged into one, like Ba'labak. Okay, so it was a name of a king and an idol, and then it became a name of a place which is found situated in Lebanon. Then, or it could be alam and wasn fa'il, so waznul fi'l, a proper noun with the scale of a verb, whether it's on the past tense verb or future tense verb, imperfect tense, okay? Or it could be a proper noun paired with al-adl, that a word which has adopted a new form. Next, on the left-hand side, we have al-wasfiyah. So it consists of some kind of description, which we'll come to know, like angry, happy, etc., and another cause. So al-wasfiyatu means description. Ukhra and other. Others will come to know what are the other causes that come with al-wasfiyya. So al-wasfu wa ziyadatul alif wa noon. So it's a description and it can come with another cause which is the addition of an alif and noon. For example, atshan. Atshan means thirsty. Ghadban means angry and hayran means confused. So we can see these three words, they offer a description. They denote wasf, wasfiyah, some sort of description. Also, we can see that atshan, it's not only consists of wasf, it also has an additional alif and noon. Remember we're saying the word ziyada, additional, because It can't be part of the actual root letters, otherwise the alif noon will not count. Like we said in Hassan. So Atshan, Ain Tashin, we've dealt with the root letters. Alif and Noon has come as an addition. Ghadban as well. Ghain, Dad and Ba is the root letters. Alif and Noon is additional. So it's a describing word. It's giving some information. It's got the wasfiya meaning, and also it's got alif noon za'idatan. Hayran, confused. So ha ya ra, we've got the root letters. Alif and noon is additional. It's got the description, which is being confused, and it's got alif noon za'idatan. So wasfiya can come with alif noon za'idatan. Wasfiya can come with af'al, whose feminine form is fa'la. For example, ahmar, hamra, ahsan, hasna. So ahmar means red for masculine, and its feminine is hamra'u. And ahsan, which means beautiful, its feminine is hasna'u. So we're looking at these words here, hamra'u and hasna'u. So this word is a describing word. Okay, ahsan is a describing word, and wawaznu af'al, okay, it's also under pattern of af'al, whose feminine is fa'la'u, hamra'u. It's on the same scale. Hamra'u is on the pattern of fa'la'u. Hasna'u is also on the pattern of fa'la'u. So what we're having here is we have a word which offers some kind of description. When we say ahmar, it means red. When you say ahsan, it means beautiful. So this will be wasf because it's offering a description. It's on the pattern of af'al, whose feminine is on the pattern of fa'la. So ahmar, its feminine form is hamra'u. Because if you run that paradigm down, ahmaru, ahmarani, and then you have the feminine form, okay, of ahmar, which is hamra'u, and then hamrawani, and then you got humrun, okay. So ahmar, the feminine is hamra'u. So you got wasf, which is red. You got wasf, which is beautiful, and it's on the pattern of af'al, whose feminine is on the pattern of fa'la. So this is another two causes that can be combined together. And normally it's with colors. You'll see with colors like aswadu, sawda'u, abyadu, bayda'u, azraqu, zarqa'u, etc. Next, we can see al-wasfiyya can pair with al-adl. But this is of two types. We'll come across that anyway. So it's some kind of description that's been offered, and it can come with another cause, which is al-adl, which is adopted a new form. There's some kind of change from its original form. So wasifatul ma'dulatu naw'an. The description which has been shifted, meaning a word which is offers some kind of description, but it's been changed, it's adopted a new form, is of two types. Alfadul adad al-ma'dula. So alfadul adad al-ma'dulatu. So words of number or amount which have been shifted or changed. For example, uhad, mathna, thulath, and ruba'. Okay, uhad, okay, mathna, thulatha, and ruba'. These originally, okay, had a previous form. Okay, so for example, thalatha, thalatha, arba'a, arba'a. Then it became thulatha and ruba'. Same thing with uhad and mathna. So in ones, in twos, or in threes, or in fours. So there's actually a repetition of these words. Then it was combined into one form, and it came on the pattern of uhad, mathna, thulatha, and ruba'. Thulatha and ruba'u. So whether it's indicated number, okay, this could be one shift that is related to numbers. Second one is the word ukhar. So it's just one word. Ukhar is actually being shifted from the word akhar. okay, which is the masculine form. بوزن فعل. So أخر is on the pattern of فعل, okay, and it's been shifted from its masculine form. Why? وهي وصف لجمع المؤنث. It is the description for plural feminine. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فعدة من أيام أخر. So there is an amount obviously to fast on other days, from the other days of Ramadan. أيام أخر. So أيام is plural of yom, and ukhar is the nat of ayyam in that particular verse. So min ayyamin ukhara. So if we carry on with the vowel markings, we'll say ukhara. Because why? It has been shifted from the masculine form. So it's in the pattern of fu'al. So the word ukhar will be considered to be غير munsarif because it's wasf and ad, and it's been shifted from its masculine form. So this summarizes al-mamnu'u min as-sarf, words which are not fully declinable. Okay, so now inshallah we will move on into the lesson. We'll make a start inshallah. Okay, so we can get rid of some annotation here. Okay, and what we'll do is inshallah we will read through these sentences. We'll make a start and we will keep an eye out on words which are غير munsarif. They are not fully declinable. And then what we want to do is, inshallah, we want to mention why they are not fully declinable. I.e., what are the two causes that make that word al-mamnu'u min as-sarf, or is it what is that one cause? Because it could be li'illatin wahida or li'illatain. There could be one cause which equates to two. It's qa'im maqam of illatain, or there are two causes to be found. Okay, so here we have الدرس الدرس الثاني والعشرون, lesson 22. Okay, so we might just about get through the translation, I think, for this lesson, but next lesson we'll continue with the tarkib, and we'll focus more on words which are غير منصرف. Okay, so حامد طبيب. So Hamid. So we'll just go through the translation inshallah today. And next lesson, what we'll do is we'll focus more on al-mamnu'u min as-sarf. Hamid is a doctor. زوجته مدرسة. His wife is a teacher. Okay. اسمها آمنة. I'm just putting full stops. It's probably easier to separate the sentences. اسمها آمنة. Her name is Amina. Okay. حامد. So Hamid. له. He has أربعة أبناء. 4 sons. Okay. And then we're going into the 4 sons. Hamza, Uthman, Ahmed, and Ibrahim. So we have حامد له أربعة أبناء هم. So they are. So we forgot that point translation. They are. I think we'll just leave that out. They are Hamza, Uthman, Ahmed, and Ibrahim. أحمد وحمزة طالبان. Ahmed and Hamza are طالبان. students. أحمد طالب مجتهد. Ahmed is an hard working or diligent student. وحمزة طالب كسلان. And Hamza is a lazy student. Not all siblings are the same. Some siblings are very active and lively and always ready on time, and some are very, very lazy. So you can put in the comments if you're a lazy student or if you're an active student. And Hamza is a lazy student. So طالب كسلان. So next sentence we have is قال Yusuf. Yusuf said. What did Yusuf say? عندي خمسة أقلام. So عندي means I have. خمسة means 5. And أقلام means pens. We've done this before. The numbers 3 till 10 work as in a possessive form. So I have 5 pens. Okay. So it's carrying on with his statement, isn't it? هذا قلم أحمر. This is a red pen. وهذا قلم أزرق. And this is a blue pen. وهذا قلم أخضر. And this is a أخضر means green pen. وهذا قلم أسود. And this is a black pen. وهذا قلم أصفر. And أصفر means yellow. So in the Quran, بقرة صفراء, yellow cow, which the people of Musa alayhi salam's people were told to slaughter. وهذا أصفر. And this is a yellow cow. وهذا أحمر. Sorry, getting mixed up here now. How do you put yellow cow? And this is a yellow pen. Sometimes this is where you have to be very, very careful when you're typing. Sometimes you're thinking in your mind something or you're saying something and then you end up typing that as well. Okay. وهذا قلم أصفر. And this is a yellow pen. Now that's the end of the speech marks. Okay, I don't know if the full stop comes before or after. You can guide me on that. Okay, so I'll just do it that way. قالت زينب. Zainab said, what did Zainab say? عندي مناديل كثيرة. I have many handkerchiefs. Hope I spelled this one right. I have many handkerchiefs. هذا أبيض. This is white. وهذا أصفر. And this is yellow. وهذا أحمر. And this is red. وهذا أزرق. And this is blue. وهذا أخضر. And this is green. Okay, so that's Zainab's statement completed. Then we have قالت لها فاطمة. Fatima said, laha means to her, so the her is referring to Zainab. So Fatima said to her, so what did she say? أعندك منديل أسود? So the Hamza harf al-istifham means do you, عندك sorry, it's feminine, isn't it? أعندك منديل أسود? Do you have أعندك? Do you have a black handkerchief? The question. Hope that's right. Does the question come before the speech marks? Okay. Do you have a black handkerchief? عندك منديل أسود؟ قالت. So he said, which is Zainab now saying, she said, what did she say? La. So we got no. She responded in the negative. ما عندي منديل أسود. I don't have منديل أسود, a black handkerchief. I don't have a black handkerchief. Okay. قال طلحة. Now طلحة said, what's طلحة saying? عندي مفاتيح كثيرة. I have عندي مفاتيح كثيرة. كثيرة means many. So I have many, and مفاتيح means keys. We know this from our earlier lessons. I have many keys. Okay. هذا مفتاح الغرفة. This is the key of the room, or this is the room key, or key of the room. This is the room key, another way to probably say. وهذا مفتاح الحقيبة. This is the key of the bag. Let's just to put the of translation. This is the key of the bag, or bag key. I don't know which one sounds better. وهذا مفتاح السيارة, and this is the car key. Even though we don't see the word the on the word miftah, because the mudaf ilayh is ma'rifa as-sayyara, that automatically makes the word mudaf ma'rifa as well. That's why in translation you could say the key of the car. And this is the key, this is the car key. Okay. Now Sufyan's getting in on that. Okay, he feels left out, so he wants to say something. So let's give Sufyan his space and time. قال سفيان في بلدنا, in our country there are masajidu, there are masjids. ومدارس كثيرة, and many. Madaris means schools. وفنادق قليلة, and less hotels. Okay, so that's, let's just carry on with the statement. أهؤلاء أطباء, are, so Hamza harf al-istifham means are. هؤلاء means these, and أطباء means doctors. Are these doctors? We'll just finish the speech mark there. And the answer is la, which means no. Hum mudarrisun, they are teachers. وهم علماء كبار, and they are kibar means senior and ulama'u means scholars. وهم علماء كبار, and they are senior scholars. So we have the translation there. Let's just quickly run through the translation. Hopefully we haven't got things wrong. We can try to just fit it there. So Hamidun Tabibun, Hamid is a doctor. Zawjatuhu Mudarrisatun, his wife is a teacher. Ismuha Aminatu, her name is Amina. Hamidun, Hamid, lahu arba'atu abna'in, he has 4 sons. Hum, they are. So we can probably put colon there. Hamzatu wa Uthman wa Ahmad wa Ibrahim. They are Hamza, Uthman, Ahmad and Ibrahim. Ahmadu wa Hamzatu Taliban. Ahmad and Hamza are students. Ahmadu Talibun Mujtahidun. Ahmad is a diligent student or hard working student. Okay. A hard working student. Wa Hamzatu Talibun Kaslan, and Hamza is a lazy student. So I put students, so a bit of mistake there. Then Qala Yusuf, Yusuf said, عندي 5 أقلام, I have 5 pens. هذا قلم أحمر, this is a red pen. وهذا قلم أزرق, and this is a blue pen. وهذا قلم أخضر, okay, and this is a blue pen. Yeah, and this is a green pen. وهذا قلم أسود, and this is a black pen. وهذا قلم أصفر, and this is a yellow pen. قالت زينب, Zainab said, عندي مناديل كثيرة, I have many handkerchiefs. هذا أبيض, this is white. وهذا أصفر, and this is yellow. وهذا أحمر, and this is red. وهذا أزرق, and this is blue. وهذا أخضر, and this is green. قالت لها فاطمة. So notice here we're not saying Fatima said, because Fatima is the fa'il. Fatima, sorry, we're not saying she said to Fatima. Okay, laha is showing who it was said to. So Fatima said to her. So قالت لها فاطمة, Fatima said to her, أعندك منديل أسود, do you have a black handkerchief? قالت, she said, لا, no. ما عندي منديل أسود, I don't have a black handkerchief. قال طلحة, Talha said, عندي مفاتيح كثيرة, I have many keys. هذا مفتاح الغرفة, this is the key, room key. وهذا مفتاح الحقيبة, this is the key of the bag. And this is the key of the bag. This is the key of the bag, or the bag key. Okay, this is the key of the bag. وهذا مفتاح السيارة, and this is the key, this is the car key. Okay. قال سفيان, Sufyan said. Next we're going to say Simon says. Okay. قال سفيان, Sufyan said. So what did Sufyan say? في بلدنا مساجد. In our country there are masjids. ومدارس كثيرة, and many schools. وفنادق قليلة, and less hotels. أهؤلاء أطباء, are these doctors? لا, هم مدرسون, no, they are teachers. وهم علماء كبار, and they are senior scholars. So that's the translation. Inshallah, next lesson we'll continue with lesson 22. The main thing of lesson 22 was studying the causes of a word being غير منصرف, al-mamnu' min as-sarf. We'll apply those rules inshallah next lesson and identify which words are غير منصرف in this lesson and point out the ilal, the reasons, the causes. If there are any questions inshallah, you can ask in the Telegram support group. And I would also say, if those who are interested in purchasing the unveiled text of Qasasul Nabiyyin with the vocab over 500 words and explanation of the diacritical markings of each word and sentence, then inshallah log on to Sidra Institute. That's www.sidrainstitute.com, and under the home button, if you click on under shop, you will be able to order your copy. Very I would say useful material to study Qasasun Nabiyyin and understand the vowel markings, because the novel prints of Qasasun Nabiyyin that we have in our midst are with the vowel markings. So this is complete text without any vowel markings, and the diacritical markings are explained through the i'rab, which is explained for each word and sentence. That's it for now, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.